Well, hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about how those of you out there who suffer from dry skin may have more prominent signs of skin aging. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm going to give you tips, tricks, and skincare product recommendations to address your dry skin needs and minimize the appearance of things like wrinkles, fine lines, saggy skin, dark under eye circles, bags under the eyes. Today's video is sponsored by e.l.f. e.l.f. is a brand that is dermatologist developed, cruelty-free, and vegan. e.l.f. makes a variety of skincare products to meet the needs of dry skin that are super affordable. In today's video, I'm going to be chatting with you all about the ones that I particularly like and that I think are going to be helpful for your dry skin needs. Now, dry skin is not a permanent state of being. Many people go throughout their lifetime never dealing with dry skin, and then boom, one winter, it's super dry. Maybe they encounter a product that's particularly drying and all of a sudden their skin looks a lot more wrinkled. Does having dry skin actually make you age faster? Absolutely not. 80 to 90% of skin aging is due to unprotected sun exposure. So always remember that. But if you have dry skin, it's going to make wrinkles appear and appear more obvious. It doesn't cause wrinkles, but simply by losing water from the skin looks more wrinkled. Some people right off the bat may just have an underlying tendency towards dry skin. Maybe you have a dry skin condition like keratosis pilaris, eczema. However, you may encounter something in your environment that dries out your skin, whether that be a drying skincare product, sitting close to a heater, living in a dry climate, going up to the mountains where the ambient humidity drops tremendously. All of these things can dry out your skin, and you may find that you're dealing with dry skin for the first time. The most obvious and straightforward thing to do to address dry skin is to use a moisturizer. And the way they work is basically to keep water from exiting the skin, and they also help protect the skin from irritating things getting in, which when you're dealing with dryness, a lot of times you have an impaired skin barrier and you're more likely to lose water, and irritating things are more likely to get in, and it's kind of this vicious cycle. Dry skin has a tendency also to look a lot tighter, especially if you develop dryness around the mouth. That actually can almost shrink your lips and thin them out a little bit. And if you use a really drying skincare product and it makes its way to the delicate skin around your eyes, boom, the next day you may find that all of a sudden you have like a lot of crow's feet and little fine wrinkles under the eyes. Whether you have dry skin or not, some of the body sites that are most prone to dryness are those where the skin is very thin. Around the eyes, the neck, the backs of the hands, you may find that you are experiencing dryness in these locations and that they tend to look drier, more wrinkled. Now, if you develop dryness on the delicate skin of the eyelids, either because you've come in contact with something that's irritating or again, the humidity has dropped, well, you may start to experience itch on the eyelids and you may find yourself rubbing your eyes a lot. People who have eczema deal with this all the time. And that chronic rubbing can really make your skin around your eyes look much wiser than you may care for. It can contribute to prominent wrinkling under the eyes, and it can lead to discoloration. It brings in more fluid just from all of that rubbing and inflammation, and that ends up leading to prominent bags, saggy skin, and the appearance of dark under eye circles. Now, when we're talking about improving the look of wrinkles and fine lines as a result of dry skin, don't forget sunscreen during the day. Not only does UV radiation actually cause wrinkles by destroying collagen, but it contributes to skin barrier damage that ends up leading to more dryness. So don't forget, obviously, sunscreen and sun protection, but sunscreen by itself actually can help with a lot of the dry skin issues during the day because sunscreens, they are occlusive, they reduce water loss from the skin, keeping it moisturized and healthy. They also help protect the skin from irritating things getting in. So it's a bonus. Not only are you protecting your skin from those damaging UV rays, but you're also moisturizing it. 20% of people actually skip putting sunscreen on the eyelids. Likewise, I would say the skin of the neck is another area that people neglect when it comes to moisturizers and when it comes to, obviously, sunscreen. I don't know, we just skip the neck. Don't skip your neck. Neck skin is much different than the skin of our face. It's a lot thinner and it has fewer oil glands, so it is even more prone to dryness and irritation. If you're dealing with dry, chapped lips, you'll notice that they look a lot thinner. I've talked about in other videos before how with age, we lose volume in our lips. It's just a natural part of aging. Why enhance that natural thinning by allowing the skin around your lips to get dry? A very simple thing to do is, again, don't forget sunscreen on the lips. B, don't forget to apply a petrolatum ointment, especially at bedtime. Remember, at night when we sleep, our skin loses more water because our skin is trying to heal and recover from oxidative stress that we have encountered throughout the day. Speaking of stress, our hands, they see a lot of environmental stressors. We're always touching things, coming in contact with stuff. Plus we're washing our hands, or we should be washing our hands to reduce the transmission of germs, colds, flus, etc. And now that we're getting into the colder months, when we come inside, we're even more likely to be exposed to viruses and things. So to stay healthy, hand hygiene is paramount, but unfortunately it does dry out the hands, whether that be actual hand washing or using hand sanitizers. Now, I recommend a few strategies to keep the hands looking healthy and radiant and reduce dryness. Again, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. B, sunscreen, sunscreen, sunscreen. Sun protective gloves also can help while you're driving if you don't have UV films in the car. If you do any kind of wet work, like washing dishes by hand, anything that has your hands immersed in water, especially soapy water, hot soapy water, please wear gloves. Your skin on your hands will thank you. If you are not wearing gloves when you do wet work, it's gonna pull a lot of water out of the skin, make them very dry, more prone to irritation, not to mention the things that you are touching when you are doing wet work is very irritating. That is gonna make the skin of the hands super dry and just really bring out the visible signs of aging on the hands, more so than you need to. All right, so if it isn't crystal clear at this point, we should be moisturizing. Humectants like hyaluronic acid, glycerin, these help pull water into the top dead layers of the skin, plumping up those fine lines and wrinkles automatically. I mean, it is almost an instant gratification when it comes to a moisturizer. Peptides are another family of ingredients that help pull water into the top layer of the skin, plumping up the look of wrinkles and fine lines. Then you have anti-inflammatory ingredients that can calm down irritation and redness, things like niacinamide. Now, I have talked about this product from e.l.f. a few times in my videos. I really like it. It is their Holy Hydration Cream. It's fragrance-free. It has hyaluronic acid, again, that humectant to pull hydration into the top layers of the skin. It also has niacinamide, and it's got peptides that have a skin firming effect. It is a really nice luxe cream. If you put a blindfold on and put this on your face, you would think you were using some really expensive moisturizer. But again, you don't need to be blowing through your bank account on expensive moisturizers. I've said that from day one on here. And you can tap it around the delicate skin of the eyelids to improve the look of those little fine wrinkles. One thing people who have dry skin may encounter, or maybe you're using a product that is particularly drying, that is peeling skin. Something that people get really frustrated with and find themselves almost in a vicious cycle where they find they've got peeling skin and then they attempt to exfoliate it. Y'all, do not attempt to exfoliate peeling skin, whether that be with a chemical exfoliant or by going to town with one of those devices that is meant to exfoliate. I have found that one of the best things you can do when you are experiencing peeling and you have all those flakes, the go-to recommendation is to apply moisturizer. But if you have ever been in that situation and you apply moisturizer, you know it's like all cakey and flaky and it's just not cosmetically pleasing. Instead, what I suggest doing when you have a patch of that really flaky stuff is to use a facial oil if it's on the face, or you can use it on the body. And e.l.f. has a great facial oil, the All the Feels oil. You don't need very much of this, just a few drops, and you just massage it in a circle wherever you have a lot of flakes. And the advantage here is that the oil is going to slip between those skin cells, smooth out the edges, and help kind of with the natural shedding of those cells that are trying to flake off, that dead stuff that's trying to flake off. But it's also moisturizing at the same time, as opposed to disrupting the skin barrier further with like a mechanical exfoliant or a chemical exfoliant. So I really like this product a lot because it's super lightweight, it's not greasy, and it has hemp seed oil in it, which is packed with antioxidants that may also help with healing and barrier recovery, as well as in reducing oxidative stress from environmental stressors. It has sunflower seed oil in it, which some small studies suggest may even have an anti-aging benefit because of its antioxidant content. And it has squalane. I love squalane because it is very lightweight, not greasy. Again, this product overall is just very pleasant on the skin, and I like that it absorbs into the skin between the skin cells, smoothing out skin cell edges. Now, I emphasized earlier how important it is to wear sunscreen, and that one advantage of wearing sunscreen during the day is not only, of course, protecting you from UV rays, but also it helps to reduce water loss out of the skin and minimize dryness. Unfortunately, many sunscreens, they don't necessarily have a family of ingredients that really imparts deep lasting moisture. And so you kind of run into this issue if you have dry skin. Should I just use sunscreen alone, or should I put a moisturizer on underneath? That's always a tricky balance because there's always this worry that a moisturizer on underneath might interfere with how the sunscreen sets up. If you layer moisturizer on underneath a sunscreen, one thing that you may encounter is that the sunscreen pills or balls. Some moisturizers, however, absorb very quickly into the skin. They're not particularly greasy, and they tend to be more compatible. I would suggest checking out the e.l.f. Happy Hydration Cream. This one has hemp seed oil in it, so you're getting some potential antioxidants there that can help with oxidative stress. And I think it pairs better underneath sunscreen than the Holy Hydration Cream would. The Happy Hydration Cream has niacinamide in it too, which is good for calming down redness. Now, if you've got dry skin, not only are you losing water, which kind of dehydrates the skin and makes it look more wrinkled, makes things like dark spots and hyperpigmentation more obvious, but you also experience a lot of redness. So this is a product I highly recommend, especially at nighttime. Remember, I said that as we sleep, our skin loses more water, it's more prone to dryness. This particular product by e.l.f. is their Dope Dream Sleeping Mask because it is ideal to use at night. I really like this. It's a very rich cream. It has shea butter in it to really put the brakes on water loss out of the skin. I'm laughing because I find I say that a lot. Put the brakes on transepidermal water loss, like we're all just a car here. Anyways, this has hemp seed oil in it as well, which has the antioxidants that can help potentially with recovery from oxidative stress. You know, one thing that happens, say you go throughout your day, you're exposed to UV rays. Yes, you've got on sunscreen, but there's still going to be some degree of oxidative stress generated. As we sleep, our body is still in the process of handling some of that. And of course, our skin's natural antioxidant reservoirs, they get depleted. And so there's this idea that applying antioxidants topically can really help with barrier recovery. Now, what I like about this formulation is that not only is it very thick, it has shea, it has hemp seed oil, but it has these little jojoba esters, which are emollients. So it kind of looks like it's got beads in it. And you'll notice those beads are green. And so what I really like about this for people dealing with redness is that the green is chromium oxide. As you put this on the skin, those green pigments kind of bloom and you get a masking effect of any redness. It camouflages redness. Very soothing, very moisturizing. It has hemp seed oil, sunflower seed oil, shea butter to lock in hydration, and it has those jojoba esters to act as emollients, and the chromium oxide that just kind of blooms on there. I mean, it really does help in camouflaging redness. Now, you could use this on the neck, the backs of the hands. It's very rich. I would say this is one, however, that you might encounter some pilling if you apply it and then try and put sunscreen on over it. But one of the other advantages I'll highlight of using a moisturizer is just by light scattering, and it can improve the look of discoloration, sunspots, and just give your skin a more luminous, healthy glow. Do we need to moisturize? Is moisturizing an essential? I would say when it comes to a skincare routine, moisturizing is probably one of the easiest things that you can do to make a visible difference in your skin, as well as a physical difference in the health of your skin and your skin barrier by reducing water loss out of the skin, preventing irritation, dryness, redness, and just overall improving the look of the skin. A lot of really expensive skincare products make all sorts of bold claims, but at the end of the day, the outcomes that people observe from using these products largely boil down to the fact that they are moisturizers. And you don't, again, need to spend a lot of money to achieve that. e.l.f. is a brand that is very affordable and can really give you a nice enhancement in the look of the skin, improve those fine lines and wrinkles just by simply moisturizing the skin. One thing I did not show here is to use an ointment, like just plain petrolatum is another very inexpensive thing that you can do to really make a difference in the look and health of your skin in terms of improving water retention within the skin. And I find that areas of the body that benefit the most from doing this are the lips. Y'all know I put ointment on my lips every night to reduce water loss from my lips. It makes a huge difference. Again, when the skin around the lips starts getting dry, it pulls at them and they look thinner. Plus, this will protect the lips from any skincare products that might be too irritating getting on the lips. I also find that using a petrolatum ointment to the eyelids is a game changer, not only for just making your eyes look a lot healthier, more radiant, more glowy, but for reducing irritation, dryness, and improving the symptoms of itch, minimizing the chances that you will start rubbing your eyes. Another location that I find petrolatum to be very, very helpful is the hands, especially for those of you who do anything with your hands, whether that be wet work, maybe you come in contact with a lot of inks, you handle a lot of paper goods. This actually can end up being pretty irritating on the hands. People don't realize this, but paper goods and things, they are treated with things that cumulatively can end up being very irritating to our hands. And petrolatum is a great skin protectant. So I highly encourage you to just keep on lubricating up your hands with a petrolatum ointment if you do a lot of work with your hands. It really can make a difference. And then last but not least, I really want to emphasize to you guys how far sun protection can take you in improving the visible signs of photoaging simply by acting as a moisturizer and helping protect your skin from UV rays that would otherwise damage the skin barrier, and contribute to not only the signs of aging, wrinkles, fine lines, collagen destruction, saggy skin, dark spots, hyperpigmentation, but also, hello, skin cancer. All right, you guys, those are my skincare tips and product recommendations from e.l.f. for improving the look of dry skin and the resultant fine lines and wrinkles that occur from just volume depletion as water is exiting your skin and it becomes dry and flaky. I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.